Here I only call. That's not nice. That's not nice because I do not have any redraws. And there is the question if I should fold. If I should fold the nut straight. I think it's time to fold the nut straight here. Because if he has the nuts and he has 7, 9, 10 or 8s, this is one moment where folding nuts is the right play. And you will see here, when I analyze this hand, that I make the right play here to fold the nuts, as crazy as it sounds. This is certainly a hand I will analyze afterwards. So he is mean open racing, can defend a lot against that. The mean open race is, I would say, not really a thing in PLO5. It's probably more of a thing if you play against someone who plays a short stack strategy, as me here. Here, king, queen, queen, 5. And just fold. I have 55 hands, and he c-bet every time, but there are only 2 hands he c-bet. So this is usually a sign. So this is usually a sign that he's way too aggressive on the flop. Should I call this min open race with this hand? They do not 3-bet, so I want to see a flop with my hand, but I could also fold here. It's not worth that much if I do not have the flush draw, that I have a wrap here. So I wanted to play a third table, and probably there is table 3 on. Nope, there is not. So would even be good if he went over the top here. Check, check, 10, 9, 8. I think this is a perfectly fine hand to just pot and get it in. I have the wrap, I have the flush draw, I do not have a lot of how did I play this hand is the question. I just want to see if I'm in a hand. Not that I'm timing out. This is a very good hand. We'll certainly 3-bet it. But I wanted to see whether I played this hand well. On the flop, like I said, it's absolutely not a hand you want to see a turn 3 ways. It doesn't matter what cards is coming. It's a typical hand with a little bit of everything. And a typical hand with a little bit of everything means that you just want to get it in if there is a possibility to do so. So in a 3-bet pot, you want to just pot and get it in. It's not a perfect hand, certainly. So I now have the nut flush draw. Do I have implied odds? I think I have implied odds. I need... And does he have something a lot of the times? Sure. But because of his stats, I would certainly call if I just have a 5. If I have 5-7 or so, it's very easy to have this. I do not need to have the nuts to call here. And I'm just waiting because I always wait, even if it's an easy decision. I could call here, but not necessary. Okay, I have bottom set and a block middle set. I can start betting because the guy after me is very passive. And I can start putting even more money into the middle. And if he goes over the top, it's still a fold. If he goes over the top, it's still a fold. What I said. It's not often a hand less than queens here. Jacks and tens. Oh, let's go for the half pot c-bet. This is a flop that is very good for me because I have all the aces and kings. And I also had some future blockers. That's why I c-bet this hand. And you can make the case that I'm probably c-betting too much with half pot when I do not have anything, and I c-bet too much with 3/4 pot when I have it. But this is nothing this guy knows because he's recreational, most probably. With this guy, in that hand before, he could either have Queen 8. I only beat Queen 8 here, which he could have, but I don't think he has it. I think he just had queens, maybe 8s. And that my fold here was good. Dark blue is a passive player for me. This is probably a standard live PLO5 player. Not very aggressive, looking at a lot of flops. Don't put a lot of money yourself in. When you put in a lot of money, it's top set. It's nuts almost every time. Yeah, that's how a lot of people play live. Online, unfortunately, that's not so easy most often. There, your main fish is probably a more aggressive type of player. And also a guy who plays 70% of hands or so, but at least this guy plays them well. This is on the cusp of open raising or folding, but because this guy. So here is the question, do I want to c-bet half or 3/4? And I decided to 3-bet half because I'm not that deep, and I would also 3-bet half when I'm bluffing. And there's the greater chance he goes over the top with a wrap. The only thing that is bad by playing half is that when he has an open ender or so, he probably calls once, and he would probably not call it. So this is close, whether I should. If he puts in, and this is the guy who 3-bets too much, so I will go, okay. I wanted to go over the top, but he does not let me. Probably has something. Now with the ace, it's probably more clear that he has something. Should I go over the top? Let's try it. Here, king, queen, jack, jack, 8. The suits are terrible. And yeah, I was right. He's still played too much. So here I have future blockers. I have blockers and I have future blockers. So I bet. And he, what did he do? I got small value. Should I call if he goes over the top? Let's see. I decide when it's his turn. Of course. So what did he have? Yeah. So and he checked back on the flop because he did not want to get it in. I probably would have bet this hand, because I have the open ender. But he was right. I'm a very aggressive guy, and so particular thing is to see bet here. I don't think he goes over the top too often. That's again, I don't think he goes over the top too often. Do I want to give him a fair price? I want to give him a fair price. But I have still to fold against a raise. Ah, that's the nicest card that could come. Whoa, that's so nice. That's so nice. So, and I think I'm going for the 3/4. He's folding then. 5/6. Don't have to. 8/7, 5/4/3. The small cards, I mean, it's on a cusp between playing and folding. The small cards are usually not that good. Should I bet this? Yes. I think it's a good hand to bet, because it's okay, bet fold. I have reasonably many outs, I have some fold equity. And that's nice. I have double suited aces. Even if he has aces almost always, he has aces always. I think he has aces always. And I do not have, the second suit is not a nut suit. And therefore I have to start bluffing here with my hand. He has just two other aces. Yes. I think this was well played by me. Usually against a normal guy who has probably 7% 3-bet or 8% would just go over the top, and I would not bluff this flop. And here it's a clear 3-bet. I mean, nothing to say more here about that. Let's see what flop comes. Okay, I have about one of the best flops I could dream of. I do not have the nuts, but still it's a good flop. It's a very good flop. And I let him bluff. Or should I put it in? I don't think so. I mean, to get the nuts here is I have to think about what is better. To call here or to fold later. He could have the king high flush. Then, yeah, he does not bluff twice. He does not bluff twice. Okay. This is a hand, looks better than it is. Out of position, mainly flopping second top set, third top set. Is overplayed. You should probably only play 10 to 15% of hands here in this situation, in this configuration, I have to say. And I like it that on the 255 table I'm running fine. Queens, they are not going over the top at all. And I have okay queens. I'm very deep against this guy, so I want to call it. This is not bad. I flop this well. Now it's time to decide whether to c-bet and whether to c-bet higher or lower. I want to see c-bet a bit higher. I know that he has probably a hand like King Jack Dan or so, something like that. I would certainly pot if I did not have hearts. This way I'm going for the 3/4 spot. This is not the nicest card. If he bets here, it's a hard decision because check then, king check then, he would often just call when he has it. So yeah, I think he would, it's the main draw, even if I think it's okay to fold here. Solver certainly says to call. The question is only if the guy calls enough on the turn, or mainly has the draw, and because I made it quite large, he will probably not call with a hand like a wrap without a flush draw. Queen check 9, 6, 5. This could be, oh yes, he never open raises, so I wouldn't want to say this could be a very light 3-bet. Not in a small blind though, but he never, when he never open raises, he has often aces. Then I can just go for the half pot bet and see if he has aces. Nah. Here's the next hand, where it's hard to say what's the right play here. It's not often to get potted into when you have to have the nut flush, and I can certainly have the nut flush here in the last situation. I think that's a fine exploitable fold. So let's see if somebody wrote me. The monetist wrote me, but nobody else. Is there somebody? If there's somebody, I'm hoping for some comments. I think the session today is really nice. A really nice session with a lot of nice situations. And I'm running also pretty well. Okay, this type of guy is ace 10, 9, 4 deuce. Looks better than it is. This guy is not open racing a lot. This c-betting every time, but I have. It's probably very close whether I should defend this hand. But there is a fish out of position against me, so I decided to defend it. Okay. Now I have showdown value and nut flush draw. Should I go for a bet? I would probably go for the bet when I do not have that much showdown value, even if it's not that much. But it's a fine check call. I think this is mainly a bet that he does not bet bigger here. And here, I did what the guy there did. I want to just test him. Will most certainly fold, but that's okay. You see, I probably also would not have pot bluffed here as much as I should. And I have too less information about him, only because he had a river aggression of 50. He only played 10 hands on a river against me. This means there is no indication that he bluffs too much at this time. And he probably sees me as a bad player because I started with him and not with a full stack. And probably then he... I don't know what his considerations are. It could also mean that he thinks I'm too nitty and call too less, which is true, which was very true in this situation. I only have to be in the last situation. I can give you the situation. Still talking about this situation. Okay, this normal open race. Okay, this guy starts betting. Don't care. I'm away. But in this situation, you see, on that river, I folded. And he will always call a flush draw, either king high or ace high on the turn, but folds a lot of the stuff that is just jack 10, king jack 10, and so on. So he has to call with a blocker hand, probably aces with jack 10 or so. And the ace of hearts that he has a natural bluff. Yeah. This guy is also too passive. No reason to bet here. And against the passive guy, I also have no reason at all to go crazy. I mean, I would probably now get king queen out of the equation, but that's it. Oh, nice. And he had jack 8, 7, 5, 4. He should just bluff that hand. Ace, king, queen, 7, 5. It's not the best hand because the ace is triple suited. Still, decent connection. I want to play this hand. Okay, here I do not like the 3, I do not like the 2. Okay, then it's an easy call when there's a cold call in between. Otherwise, it would just be fold. Because I have the ace of hearts. This means he is more likely to have an ace, which means I should never bluff here. And because he's not betting anything, it's even more stupid to bluff here. Still, same story. Ace, king 10, 6, 3. Okay, he's the guy who has it. So I have 2 less to consider betting here. Now I have 3, 6, so some showdown value. He could still have aces, kings, something he open raises with, but does not bluff it. And now he is very likely to have queen 8, something like that. Queen 6. I think if also a lot of guys, a hand he could have and he could bluff is just absolute nothing. A hand like ace, king, jack, 10, deuce, for example, would probably 1/3 bluff the river with. So the cards are really good. The suits are amazingly bad. He always calls and then somebody goes over the top. He goes over the top 24% of the time. He goes over the top in which situations? I have to check that. In position mainly. The sample size I have is not too high. I will continue to take a look on his play. You can, if he plays 200 or 300 hands with me, I can more easily see if he makes some mistakes. And that he open raises 7 out of 8 hands, it means he's with the combination of this, that he probably plays too many hands. And plays them too aggressively. So ace queen 665. He starts to open raise. 247 hands and almost no open raises, but in a small blind. So first time he did that, he recognized that open raising is also a strategy. Probably by having that many big blinds. So I want also to play a smaller table. So I want to rearrange the tables such that the first table is here, second table is here, the third table, which is the smallest one, is perfectly in the corner of the stream. So you know, biggest action is the first table, the highest table, 255. And then there is 51 table and the 1020 cents tower table. And you will see, if you want to start to play PLO5, I would recommend to play on 10 cent, 20 cent, and just know as the first thing. So this is next hand. Is it an open race? Yeah. Even it's not perfect. The 9-5 gap is not too good. With a 10, it would be a very good hand. So king, queen, jack 10, 5. And king, queen, jack 10, king, queen, jack 9. I have jack 5. It's the bad thing about checking here is I can never raise if he bets. And the second bad thing is that he could have, he's getting, so I probably should have bet here. Queen, queen, 10 and 8. And he's the passive guy, so there's no need to bluff catch anything. Even against a more aggressive guy, I would just fold my hand. Kings. Easy defend. Some people make the mistake to 3-bet this hand. If he bets half pot, I would call. He bets way too much. And he c-bets often, so when I never do anything, he c-bets a lot. He's folding a lot against aggression. Ace queen 9 at 6. Yeah. Too good to. I call, and if I hit clubs, I will go for the pot size bet. Okay. He's not betting a lot on the river. That's not something I like to see. Now there's the question, should I go for the bluff? I still have ace queen, even though he has queen 10 a lot here. Or jacks, okay. Makes sense. With a bad ace, would probably have bluffed, but ace queen still has some showdown value. And he was a little bit scared about his king because it's probably most likely by card I have the king. Ace, king, queen 10 deuce. Is it? I don't know anything about this player. King, king 10, 9, 9. It's perfectly fine. Call. Yeah, this is something. There is no other play. Then getting it in. And it's very hard for him to fold queens here. King, jack, 8-8. Yeah. Yeah. Happens. He also blocked the king, so it's Somewhat bad luck that he ran into the hand I had. Nine, 8, 8, 4, 4. I think the solver says to fold his hand, and he will probably check everything to me, so I can just check back. 8, 7, 7, 6, 6. Okay, let's fold it then. So here I block a lot, therefore I want to go for the bet. And here this is a 10 cent, 20 cent. You see what the guys do here, min racing. And here I'm just an ultra agora guy. 9, 8, 6. Just getting in against this guy, and he does not know anything about this game. So he's king. Here I have bottom set. I just want to put full pressure on the other guys. Not very likely anyone has anything here. So anybody has more than me. And this is your typical 10 cent, 20 cent game. So if you start playing, you're in situations as the last one here, that someone just goes all in on such a board with this hand and also wants to play for stacks there. 10, 8, 7, 7, 6. Double suited, it's a fine call because it's also very connected, and it's the 10 cent, 20 cent game. So I think this table seems to be too much of a ragged table, which happens on 255. So I want to play another table. Let's see. I do not have any spades, so I do not consider in this multi-way situation, do not consider betting anything. And probably it's also not recommended to bet too much as a bluff on 10 cent, 20 cent, because some people can't fold a small flush. Now, if nobody puts in anything, I could go for that. I could go for the bet. just because I'm in position and people are too straightforward here when they have ace 10, s6. But he is nuts and does not go over the top anymore. What the fuck? Why? This guy is probably calling something with a small full house. So I wanted to have the probably weakest hand possible in PLO. There it is. $0.10, 20 cents, another 10 cent, 20 cent. Nah. I will start again to play. Okay, there's only a 25.50 game running. I will go on to seat out on this table. I'm not on seat out, I'm on the waiting list. I go on the waiting list. This is the bad thing about this site, is that sometimes there is no real action. You have to wait for the fish, and you have seen that the rags I played, they all had some flaws, I would say. They all had some bad aspects in their game. I thought I had more there. Let's see. In what hand I lost a little bit. Nah, I had less there. And that just bluffed me to this stack. 97533. Nope. Where did I bluff me to this stack? I didn't even have a jack or queen. But when he has 60, let's see, here is the river. When he has 60 left, he should absolutely go all in there. So he had either 9s or 8s or nut flush draw, but not the 10 jack queen combo. And that's also a typical 10 cent, 20 cent thing that everybody calls. So, second nut flush draw, second nut flush. This is also a hand, can perfectly open raise, but should fold against the 3-bet. There's no reason to bet this at the moment. There are reasons to bet this at the moment. Somebody with kings also can, but now I want to bet half pot and probably half pot on the river, just to get some small value. Because they are bad, I'm going to bet here. Probably somebody calls the bad flush. Okay, this guy has the nuts. He didn't even bother to probably on this level I should not fold against this bet, but usually on higher levels this is always the nuts, never something weaker. So I just you have to care here. I have we are 200 big blinds deep. This means not every aces are on. I need a stronger. I need stronger aces to 3-bet here. Probably this flop I would never that's a very bad turn. I would never c-bet probably in this flop, just because he has such a range advantage. Check down. So showdown value, but king queen is likely. At least kings are likely. Should I consider bluff catching here? Wow. Oh, this guy does sometimes not bluff. Heads up with no showdown value on good boards for him. It's range. So I do not label him as passive yet. He often steals from the big blind, but he's way too straightforward. And that he steals from the big blind, you saw that he opens with 7 5 5 4 3. Double suited, it's fine open. King queen queen 5 deuce. I have nice blockers, very nice blockers. And on 20 cent, 50 cent, I have a seat. Wow, yeah, he has the... I would play nuts the same way. So just unlucky, because I had a really good hand to continue bluffing with here. So 9 9 5 3 deuce. It's more likely to be a fold. These aces are pretty bad. Not too bad, because the smallest card is 6. And there is even the question whether I should go over the top or not. Advantages are that people can fold. Kings, king, queen, check, then 4. There are too many hands at the same time going on. I think in those multi-way situations, I do not want to broke these aces. Therefore, I just call. Because multi-way, this is not even a good hand. So he is 3-betting more in position than he has really good pre-flop stats. But out of post-flop, I don't think he's a good player. It's a typical check call hand here when he bets half pot. Would I have the flush draw on top, I would broke my hand. Now I would broke my hand if I had queen 9. I don't have it. I still have some queen 9 or hands like that. Call on the flop. And it's a very good turn for him, obviously. So with the nut gut shot, with more or less an open-ender, it's and backdoor flush draw. So it's a very clear c-bet. Here, do I want to go over the top? I think yes. Against this guy, yes. 8-9 is a possibility, and he will always check against me here. Okay, I'll just go for 3. King 10. King 10 is nice. There I can go for pot size bet, and he will not expect anything. I will go for this. Ace 3. 3-6 is his type of hand. Therefore I check. And because I have ace 3, it's an easy call. He bluffs. Seven, 7, 6, 4, 3. Limped, and now he folds. That's nice. A big blind is okay too. And this is probably even a regular player. Fine defend. My hand. 6, 4, 3. Awful flop for my range. 6, 4. I have jack. Someone could have the kings. I still want to get as much money as because kings should not go over the top. 6, 4, 3. 2, 6, 7. I went for the bluff here. I don't think I can win with this. So why did I time out here? Don't know. Probably because I was explaining things. Okay, king, queen, queen, 9, 5. Position. Again here, the one guy only has a little left, so I'm not that concerned. This guy is very passive, so I just want to get some more value. Question is whether I want to get value now, which I can get from lower flushes or from sets, or if I want to get value later. And because he's passive, I won't call anything. against a raise. We'll almost certainly have the nut flush draw, nut flush here. And I could also have the nut flush here. So, and as you see, I like bet folding a lot. And mainly against bad players. This guy is just passive. I can easily put a note here that is passive, so color coding. And there are against a better player, I would probably only check either the flop or the turn. And my decision to bet was that I unblock queens and tens, so he can have a set where I want to fold out the equity. And he's right to raise the turn, but when he is a nit, yeah, he will, or a very passive player, he will not have anything but the nuts here. So, how long do we play now? I think a little bit over an hour. So, and at the moment is not a lot of action. Probably I just stop grinding. Let's see. Sometime I had 2 viewers. Wow. I hope there are more viewers afterwards. But let's see. I had something like 500 viewers for the first stream. For the second stream, I only got something like 40 viewers, but at least I know these viewers are not directly recommended by YouTube, not guys who are not interested in PLO, only guys who are interested in poker in general got the recommendation for my last stream. And with 40 people, probably one of them is interested to be a new guy in our PLO5 group. I'm looking forward to have more people. I can show strategy. I can make theory with. Okay. This is a hand. I do not like the 3-bet too much. I like it because he's 3-bet. He's probably more at the moment. Very nice. Very, very nice flop. And I only bet half pot because he goes over the top with king queen himself. I can have ace, so the hand I represent are aces. Here, can put in only a little bit, so he could still call with something weaker. He probably had jacks or tens. I would have played in the exact same way with aces. Probably I should have gone for the 3/4 spot, but I would have gone for a bigger bet on the turn if I did not have the nut flush draw with it. And he's not a thinking player. Against the thinking player, he probably finds some raises because he thinks I mainly have aces. Finds some raises on the turn. This stack size. So this is about one of the worst hands to bet with when I have the nut flush. Here I block kings, which is not nice, but I think I have to build a pot. And last time he went over the top. He has a flush. He has a small flush. Probably I should only have bet half pot. Hard to say. Probably half pot was the game, was the play, because I also blocked the second nut flush. King, queen, 6-4 deuce. Not the hand I want to open raise. It's 10 cent, 20 cent. Jack, jack, 7-5-3. Also not a hand I want to open raise. Looks connected. Looks like a higher pair, but the pair is not high enough and it's not connected well enough, and the side cards are way too weak. On the button I would have played this hand, obviously. But still on the cutoff, it would be a questionable open raise. So I think I think I played 1 hour and 50 minutes now. Triple, the double triple suited, so to say, hands are usually way worse, but the connection is just amazing with this hand. This is a bad flop for my range. And I flop something, but not a lot. I don't think it's hard to call here. I think I have to call once. This is even a good hand for my range. Let's see what he's doing. Do not have any blockers. I do not have any. Yes, it works often because there are not a lot of hands that bluff here. I could have no nut flush draw. I could have nut flush draw that does here, but mainly I'm folding out some stuff, so to say. Queen, queen, jack, 4-3. Queen, queen, jack, 4-3 still. It's against this player. This guy. Queen check 663. Oh, dirty call. Nice. King, queen, 10, 8. Okay. E6, 5 for 4. Aces. Nice. This is also a very, very, very nice hand. Probably even the next best, the single next best hand after after aces. The solver like this exact hand a lot. Ace jack then 8-7. Probably ace jack then 9-8 could be a little bit better, and it's not the best hand for multi-way. So I would much rather have a hand like king, queen, queen, for example. King 9, 4, 6 deuce. He's always open raising, but this is still one of the worst hands I can have. But he's always open raising a small pot. Yeah, I like to punish that with 3-betting a lot. He's king, jack, jack 5. He's also very often just open raising. He's jack 10, 8, 7. I do not have an 8, I do not have a 7, so... But now I have some nice blocker kind of things. Therefore I have the blocker for the straight. I have the blocker for the nut flush. I don't have 7-8, but he doesn't either. So I can go for the... mainly for the pot size bet here. It's, I think, a very nice pot size bluff. And still I can it's hard to when a blank comes, I probably still call. So this is a call. It's too weak. I can't. But when you have 3, you should when you. So okay, it's going for the bet now. Okay. I still think I have a lot of saying against him here. Do I think I have the implieds? Probably not. King, jack, 9 and 8. Ace, queen, 8, 7 deuce. I do not even have so now my hand got weak enough, I have to say, that I can bluff, and he showed that he can bet medium strong hands himself. which could be a bad thing because then I can attack him more, which I did here. And could I have the nuts here? Certainly. Does he know that I'm bluffing too much here? Probably not. Does the population bluff here with pot size bet? Often enough, I don't think so. I have a jack blocker, a 9 blocker, I have enough blockers to bet this hand, I think. And I have the backdoor flush draw. I have the jack. Okay, here check queen. There's the question whether I should bet less here. So this is very nice that I can just get it in here with him. The blank comes. He will probably 3-bet too wide, 20 big blinds deep. Let's check then. 7-3. The 3 is not a nice addition to this hand, but other than that, it's a very good hand. With 3 people, I do not want to bet here. Here, I want to bet. He often has aces that can fold out aces. Nice. Eight, 7. He pots. It's too often just the nuts. So, but now I think it's time to leave all tables and then make an analysis session. Leave all tables next big blinds. I haven't looked what games are played at the moment, almost none on this side. Sunday evening, probably most people go to bed because they have to work tomorrow. But my target group are poker players, and they often go to bed late. And my target group are probably also players from Russia or from India, where it's probably something like 3 o'clock in the morning, end of session, end of a poker player's day, I would say. Probably I should also stream on other times. Probably you want to see these streamings in the morning. And what is a typical time for, let's say, India? What is it? +7, -7, so +7 GMT, something like that. I can see what I want to know. What's the time zone in India? India time zone. +5:30. Okay, it's not that much in the east than I thought. So do I see it out on every table? There's one table running. I will probably play my last hand in the cutoff, and then I'm going home. When you watched it, the bluffer made 3 hands ago, so was not necessary, I would say. Of course, it's very likely that he is Queen Jack. It's just he's also folding a lot of things he has caught with on the flop. Probably some flush draw. And he's mainly going over the top with Queen Jack. So I could just continue bluffing on the river. I don't give up. When I bluff on the river, I bluff pot size. Then it's hard to call with probably a smaller straight, probably with 2 pair. Yeah, I said I'll leave here, but let's make an analysis. And we go therefore into dry fat. You see, these are, I've only played 1,200 hands with this new account. I should have won $200 for these hands, but I lost 500 because I didn't run very well here. You do not see my whole dry fat. So I want to make it as small as possible. This is as small as possible. And you do not see the thing where I ran bad here. What? Yeah. I do not want to see the stakes. I want to see the sessions because I want to analyze the session, today's sessions. So, what do I have here? Not the last 100 hands. I want to see all hands. And all hands, I lost with kings, and I got it in very well. I had 65% equity, so all you can dream of I had. And this is all you can dream of in PLO5, 65% equity if you get it in. So, and I think I just played it in a standard way. So, next time I want to change my overlay that I can catch all the window in dry fat. I can't do it here. Here I had king, 10, 9, 9. I was the big blind, and I only called here. It's standard call, so it's not an only call. And there is the question: should I lead? Should I bet myself? And there are 2 players who can bet. one of them is a very passive player, so I could lead. There is not a huge EV difference in leading and checking in the solver by almost any hands that have some equity here. Probably when I had king, king, jack, jack, 9 or so, I would probably check more often because I'm blocking the betting range of my opponent, or when I also had the nut flush draw with it, would probably bet more. Or nut flush draw blocker with it, I would bet more often. And he goes for the almost pot size bet, and I get it in. And everything else than getting in would be a huge mistake. And I play with 65% equity. I play a 926 euro pot, but unfortunately the flush hits. Yeah, nothing to analyze there. Well played by me, probably not so well played by this guy. He c-bet probably too. He had the king, so I would probably also play it like this, but I would not c-bet that big. There is no reason to c-bet that big. And then he could probably get away on some turns. Hard. I could also have king, queen with a flush draw, hand like king, queen, jack, 10, 8 or so. I would play it the same way, and then he has the 60%. Not really. I have the Showdown value, but he still has 45% or 50%. So next biggest hand I played. Okay, he open raises, I go over the top, and I flop the straight. I check, he bets, and I call. And here I had the absolute nuts here, but no, not the absolute nuts. So 6-5 is obviously better. But on this SPR and on this board, I'm never folding anything. So, and it's better for him, this board. Obviously, I need the ace-5 basically here. And here he bets more than half pot. No, he bets about half pot, and I only call. Is this a mistake? I think he's very polarized here, and mainly betting king high flush draw better. Mainly nut flush draw, nut flush, and mainly checking everything else but complete bluffs. And against complete bluffs, which could be, they almost always have 0% equity. And therefore I hope for him to bluff the river. Should I still go all in with the nut flush and bluff catch with the smaller flush and getting against the king high flush? I don't even know if the king high flush gets it in, because what should I raise here with? I could have the nut flush blocker, sure, but that's about it. Would I play the nut flush blocker this way? Certainly. So certainly I would call the flop, because it's only a 1/3 pot size. I would call the flop. And the turn with the half bet size, I probably would have gone all in with nut flush blocker. And this is something I do on this flop. Is I will not bet a lot. I will not go only. I will almost never bet myself, and I will probably also not go a lot over the top. Hands I would go over the top is like nut flush draw and gut shot. This is the typical hand. I want just to get it in. I get called by a hand like a flush, a straight, where I have almost 50% against. And there are almost only killing cards on the turn. And probably also would have gone all in with a hand like ace is 5-6 and no club at all. So nuts with nothing else. But here I destroyed the board. Okay. Next hand. This was a very tight laydown. Is it the right laydown? Certainly not by the solver, but I think I made the right decision here. I called this hand, even though the solver would probably fold it, because these two guys are not very aggressive. At least the numbers don't say they are 3-betting too much. And this guy calls too much, so even better for me with my hand that is very good multi-way. I get my top set. I c-bet 3/4, which is totally fine. On this turn, the usual bet size is pot size, and I probably should have bet pot size. Then the decision on the river would have been even clearer. But here, he checks, and I bet 3/4 again, because I also have the flush draw. But he calls, and here I think he does not call often when he has not the nut flush draw, or at least second nut flush draw. So on the flop, he can call with showdown value plus open-ender, for example. A good showdown value and a gut shot and good backup, like 2 backdoor nut flush draws. On this turn, he should fold almost all everything but the nut flush draw, and therefore, and he does not often have a hand like Queen 6 here, because I block Queen 9. He does not often have a hand like that. So my device is, you do not see me anymore, which is not nice, but it is what it is. Probably the session stops after 2 hours. Let's see. Yeah, the session stopped after 2 hours. Good to know. Next time yeah, but you don't have to see me. I can still make my theory. So, but something I want to see here is, what does the PLO Mastermind Solver say about this hand? So I can go into 5-card web app. I have it here. First thing I want to see is we had 100 big blinds, and first thing I want to see is how much minus EV is my hand to call here with. So is the exploitative call okay or not? I think this was the hand. And I want to see is slightly minus V, but it's okay to call. So when you think people do not go over the top, if you have a reason, this is okay to call such a hand then. Like double suited queens, Jack 9-4. I trained this situation a lot, so I'm also comfortable in knowing what the solver says here. Post flop. It's 6 max 1-1, and it's 100 big blind. It's a single raise pot. It's cutoff versus button. I'm not totally sure if there are even turn solutions here. Yeah, there are turn solutions on some board. So I want to have a queen high board. It's texture, it's unpaired, suit, it's rainbow, and high card is the queen. Probably we have it, and we have a turn. So queen 8-7, queen sim 6, queen 10-7. Queen 10-7 is probably the best, even though we have queen 9-4. Because on the turn, pretty much a blank came. It's not the blank, the most blank, but it's still pretty much a blank. We have queen 10-7, and then I say 4 comes on the turn or so. Queen 10-7, check. And what should I do with queens here? You see, I should he c-bet a lot here? I would not say so. So you should c-bet almost nothing here. Only 18% of hands. It's not almost nothing, but probably it's even okay to c-bet. Let's see with EV difference, when we show the EV difference and also sort by EV difference, we can see here what are the hands that absolutely have to bet here. And usually that are hands. And I only want to see hands that have a weight of something that is not pretty much random by the solver. He has every time. He should every time bet a hand with a little bit of everything. Ace, King, 10, 7, 7. Okay. Queen, Queen, Jack, 5, 3. So absolutely bad queens. Ace, King, Jack, 9, 6. So the perfect wrap should just bet, but it's not the a wrap with a pair, which wants mainly to go probably for the check raise. Ace, King, 10, 7, 7. Okay. I do not see what hands still want to bet here on the first glance. So let's go. He checks, and I'm on the button. And how often should I bet queens here? And what queens should still be checked? I should bet almost all queens. The absolute best ones should be checked. Let's again sort by EV difference. And let's get the weight again to a number where the solver is exact. So 3 queens, okay. Queen, Queen, Jack, 9, 8. It's interesting. Yeah, no, it's not interesting. This is more interesting for me, that 3 queens should check. But probably mainly because we do not really even want to call because we know our opponent has a good draw then. And we do not want to get him over the top, then we even know he has an even better draw then. Yeah, just with an open ender with a wrap and so on. Should probably be checked. My hand is a clear bet, and I should only bet half pot according to the solver. And against half pot, my opponent should call 50% of the time. And going over the top, 13% of the time. Yeah, that's probably what people do here. Probably they fold a little bit more. Against half, I don't know. Probably they fold a little bit more than 35%. Cool. And then there is some, let's say there is a 5 or 4. Let's say there's a 4 of spades here. And my opponent checks, and I should only pot here. Even if I have, when I have queens here, I should always pot. And when he calls, and then there is also interesting, what is the bottom of his calling range? I want to see the bottom of his calling range. I want to hide 0% combos. I want to see only hands that have a weight that is significant. And I want to see frequency of 0 only hands. He does this almost always. Let's say 85%. Okay, that's not working. What did I have? Let's put it back down to 0 and just scroll down until we get some hands that are minimally plus EV by him. So now for 19%, 58%, 80, 95, 99%. Okay, these are King, Queen, 10. Okay. This is interesting that they don't say 100% here. There is 100%. Why is the V going up? Do I have to go there to V? So now it should be sorted in the right way. And we have to scroll down until the solver says. So now here we are at hands that are slightly plus EV. Aces with an open ender and a possible probable bluff card on the river. Bad flush draw with an open ender. Ace, king, jack, 8, 5. So how many cards can hit the straight? Apparently more than only 3, so 4, 5 cards to the straight. Ace, king, jack, and 8 again with the ace of spades. But let's say we do not have the ace of spades. It's okay with the queen blocker and an open-ender. It's also a bad call, but still a call. Ace, king, queen, 8-6, open-ender and flush draw blocker. Ace, jack, 10, and 8. Okay, again, a pretty good rep, but no spades. These are the hands that should call there, which are only a slight plus we call. And then when there is, I think it was pretty much a blank on the river, 7. It's not the blankest of all cards, but the 7 of spades, let's say 6 of spades comes in. And now the question is, what should he pot? And should I even consider folding something? He should even go 1/3 pot, some of his hands. And when he has the ace of spades, he should pot most of the time. When he has the ace of spades and no flush, and not 2 spades, he should pot 75% of the time. And when he has spades, he has spades 29% of the time. He should only pot 60% of the time. Does he have the ace of spades, often another ace of spades and no spades? He has 8% of the time. And I probably don't think that this is true, that he has the ace of spades here so often. What should he do when he does not have the ace of spades? Almost never bet. But he has a spade and not. So he should also find some bluffs. He will certainly do that. There are some crazy bluffs like this one, where I only say what the fuck, but nah, it's okay, so some low equity bluffs. Could he have them? I doubt it. I don't see it that often. It's just too likely that he just has had the hand he said he has. But if you disagree, you can write it into a comment. So, next hand, probably last hand, I will analyze. Okay, these were the aces where I was not sure whether I should call them on the turn or not. And probably I should have folded. I got the aces there. There is one bet. I call 3/4. And here I said I need 30% equity to break even. I directly have 3, 6, 9, 10 outs. I do not block any of my outs. This means I have probably something like 24% equity, 25% equity. I need 5% equity more, which could be, because I only have 1 hand left, it could be that he is calling the nut flush then. And then I get the odds to call this bet. Even if he calls it half of the time, I think it's okay. Bad thing is that I there was a limp, another limp, he limped, and I was the racer, so I often have aces here. Could consider that to make the tight laydown when there is another flush card on the river. when there is a pot bearing card on the river. So this was also a nice hand. Had pretty nice hand to open race with. Check 10 9 8 double suited. And here I had a typical hand with a little bit of everything. And the way you play them is when you do not have that much behind. I have almost 4 SPR. Still, there is no reason to let this pot stay small. I have a good amount of equity. When I hit something, it's often not enough. And therefore, I just go for the pot size bet. And even if I get it in against queens, let's say, or against the nut flush draw, I still have almost always 40% equity or more. And here on the turn, I go for a very, very small bet of 45 euros. Would I also bluff it that way? I could. Could I also check? Sure. But I do not want to give another free card for 2 pair, which is very likely that he has. It's very likely that he has queen 6 or so. And I can fold this out, which is nice. And a small flush will call when I bet this small. And when there are 80 euros into how much? 250, then probably he's calling also with king jack or something like that. I block jacks, which is not the nicest things, but he could still have king jack. Okay. Thank you for today's today's stream, if somebody joined. And see you next time.